This is the beautiful gamepad here on the Lithium Project channel. I am Lithium Project, and we've got International Superstar Soccer 64, which is the first installment of the Axyz series on N64. And one thing I know about this game, from the limited amount of time that I've spent playing it over the years, is the emulation for this game, and I don't know if it's just specific to this one or the other two in the series, but N64 emulation can be quite patchy. And on this game in particular, as you can see with the shadows, for some reason it just does not know how to render shadows in this game. No idea why. So we still got that. I don't know how bad the emulation on this is going to be. This could be like one of the really, like, the first instances where a game just doesn't really play that well because of emulation. Myself and my good friend Dave, many years ago, we attempted to do a video on, I don't know if it was 64 specifically, or 98 or 2000. We'll find out over the next 3 videos. But it was basically unplayable. Now, emulation has come a long way since then. This was, what, like 7 years ago? And also we were doing that on... We were either doing that on my MacBook, or we were doing it on my Windows partition of the MacBook. Either way, probably not the best way to be doing it. This is on a PC. By no means is my PC like a fucking 4K full-powered rig, but it's fairly capable, so if the shadows is like the worst way to deal with, then that's fine. But I definitely feel like with all of the N64 recompile jobs going on at the moment, this I feel like is one that's really ripe for the picking, because I feel like emulation-wise, this is one, or at least a series of games, again we'll find out, that seems to suffer more than most. Now in terms of how this actually plays, I don't recall too much. I feel like I'm not the biggest fan of, like, of the few times I play football games on the N64, I've never really gravitated towards them particularly that much. I love my N64, but I love my N64 for very specific games, and football is not one of them. Like, I was always PlayStation for my football. So we'll see how this fares in comparison. Germany, England, why not? Let's go for it. I could have just done start at random. Can I go back? Start for random. We are... I'm gonna guess Lewandowski. I mean, considering how old he is at this point, maybe Lewandowski was in the team in 98. Sure. And we are up against the mighty Croatia. Yeah, that's a fairly decent matchup. The fucking resolution. N64 has its strong points and it has its weak points, and you can usually see pretty clearly what the weak points are. Music-wise, we're pretty good. There's like a Donkey Kong ape sound in the background that's coming over the top. Probably can't hear that in the music, but it's fabulous. As always, when it comes to emulating N64 as well, remembering which buttons are what on a kind of conventional control pad scheme is going to be an issue. But, we'll try and figure it out. Immediately, these player models are horrendous.
Midfielder, past defender. The ball is passed on. He passes it back.
Alright, first of all, can we sort out this camera? Yes, we can. Near, mid, far, no matter where you are. Alright. I can't say it's made too much difference, and I think I've lost sound from the audience.
He's looking for the break. He's going all the way.
Oh no, the crowd is still there. They were just stunned silence.
It's gone out of play. Croatia. I'll give him the corner.
There we go. It's back now. Oh my god! How did that go in?
Goal! That's a powerful header.
That is a powerful header. That was a powerful cross.
Croatia are on the score sheet. The attack
The
warrants
curve on that. Oh my god. Alright.
player is in. He still has possession.
Yeah, I literally just kicked off for fucking... Never mind. I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm a bit rusty.
Still have time to pull it back. Pass
I've been too busy ignoring the Club World Cup.
played so far. Left. That was dangerous play.
That was rough. You should panic with a tackle like that. I'm sure it's panic.
He may use this to send men forward. Pass. He's holding on for an opening. He's taking it all the way.
Because the thing with the N64
Croatia.
controller setup is you have to think about like which right analog stick direction handles which C button on the 64 controller. Like it was an interesting idea. And I like the N64 controller. It certainly has its haters. I like it, but it only works really in the confines of like on an actual N64 controller, you know?
He's cutting towards the goal. Croatia. The referee blows
anytime I've tried to do emulation with the N64, unless you're playing something like a racing game or something that doesn't require really much use of the C buttons,
the referee calls him over.
it just becomes too much of a hassle. Like No Mercy is one of the very few games that I can sort of get away with, but even then that can be a bit of an arduous task.
He's positioning for the free kick. The goalie has it.
Alright, so I think left C or left stick is
2
shoot.
minutes played so far. He's got all the time in the world.
Or it's a lob.
A wasted attempt and a
One of
goal
the two.
to Croatia.
Unless it's B? I guess I hadn't considered that. No, what's B?
It's a long
Oh, it is B. Okay.
The goalie has it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
He's got control of the ball. Croatia have endless stamina. He looks unsupported. He's going all the way forward.
And I'm actually off the top of my head, I don't remember how the recompile job worked in regards to stuff like Majora's Mask.
Opportunities are available.
I think it uses like dual, like typical 3D person camera movement with the right analog stick,
He's holding on for an opening. He's going all the
and then
way.
I think it just
For the goalkeeper.
contextualized. Actually, what the fuck did it contextualize the buttons to on that? I don't even remember.
He's looking around for openings. Will he cross it? He's fed it left. The ball is headed clear. He's got
Like I have an actual N64 controller, like USB-C style controller. It's not great. I played DK64 with it, and that might have not been the best thing to try using it with, because D64 is just not a very good game. And I feel like I'm gonna have to try it with a couple of other. Maybe I should have tried it with this, in fairness, because you know, if there's any games I should be doing with it, it's fucking N64 games. Maybe for the next one I'll try it and see how that fares in comparison.
He's looking around for openings. Oh, a defensive mistake there.
But then I guess with that I have to figure out if RetroArch will just automatically detect it, because it's probably going to go, what the fuck is this controller? Or maybe it'll just detect it straight away, who knows? We'll find out.
Time is running out. Lovely pass.
A lovely pass. This actually plays alright. This is not too bad.
He's looking around for openings. Left.
The camera isn't great,
Red interception. Croatia. Thwarted again. He's looking for the break. He's hit it at the
and shooting currently feels quite stiff,
decided it. He slides in.
but it's not bad. The movement and the turning circles actually are surprisingly fluid. I thought that was going to be the biggest obstacle to overcome here, but it actually feels alright.
The ball is passed on. What can Croatia make from this move? A magnificent save. A brave decision by the keeper.
The main issue is that the difference between when you shoot and like where the ball is kind of on its own, and then when the keeper collects it, there's a clear like moment where the game has to compute, okay, the next action is that the ball is going to go into the keeper's hands, and it hasn't quite got the fluidity. It feels like two separate actions, which obviously they are, but it feels like there's a gap between those two actions occurring. Now, could be emulation. Could be emulation, I don't know. This commentator is pretty good. ISS Pro, like early ISS Pro commentary, has probably been the highlight. They're the best of commentary across the series so far, of like 42, 43 games we've done.
He's running well. Croatia cut that short. Poland thwarted again. He's holding on for an opening. He's going all the way. Yes,
No. God damn it.
He's hit it with his right foot. Croatia takes the lead.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed as well, mate. Keeper should have saved that first one, honestly.
And the game restarts. He's running well. Poland have endless stamina. He's cutting towards the goal. He's taking it all the way. Will he take a shot?
Oh!
Goal!
What a goal.
He finished that beautifully.
Yeah, he did.
Let's see that again.
What a run. Alright, very happy with that. Look, we're still in the first half. Okay, where are my defenders? There we go.
Going all the way. Poland send a long ball downfield. Not enough legs on the pass. He's going all the way. What a crack!
Oh!
He can't keep it down.
How are we still in the first half? Like, it's like a VAR check went on for about 25 minutes.
Croatia intercept the ball. Poland.
Honestly, it was, I think it was like the last World Cup where you really got to see,
Holding on for an
and I'm not a VAR hater.
could be dangerous.
I definitely understand like VAR can really destroy the momentum of a game. Like I went to see a PSVR Eindhoven final match live about a month or so ago, and there was a VAR check in like the 88th minute or whatnot, and it was a great level of attention to it because I think it was Eindhoven's either there. It was no, it was. I think it was 2-2 at that point, and they'd come back from like 2-0 down to go to 2-3. But the goal ended up being disallowed, and then they scored again like in about 2 minutes later anyway.
That's the end of the first half. Poland.
But you end up with, you know, like 8 to 10 minutes being added on, and like it's bad enough that these players are absolutely bollocks because they're now playing, you know, however many more games a season, with the extension of the Champions League format. Not that those two teams would have gone that far into the tournament, but you think about it in the context of like a team like a Chelsea, for example. Not that I have any sympathy for them, fuck them, but you know, they're over doing the Club World Cup at the moment, and they've just come off of playing God knows how many games last season between all of the tournaments, the Europa, the conference finals, and like I can't imagine if they have a game that goes now. I'm presuming they're using VAR. I haven't watched a minute of the Club World Cup. But imagine you're out there and it's like you're 110 minutes or so into this fucking match and you just want it to end, but the referee is like insistent, like, no, we had a 15-minute VAR check, we're gonna like go to, you know, that time's cleared. It's just, oh my god, like if I was a player, I'd be losing my goddamn mind. But that's my biggest bugbear with VAR. I think it's right to have it because obviously, you know, the amount that fucking people scream these days about like referees being corrupt and whatnot, which is just, you know, absolute nonsense. And it's not perfect. God knows it's not perfect. But I think there has to be a bit of a, obviously, you know, they need to find ways to try and improve the the speed of which decisions are made, and I know they're using some sort of like semi-automated offside thing for the Club World Cup, and I'm sure, you know, over the years they'll find ways to improve and streamline the process. But you can't be having games that go for like an extra 10 to 12 minutes stoppage time at the end of the 90. You just can't do that. Like, it's completely insane. Especially if you've got like a knockout game that you then have fucking extra time and penalties for as well, you know? Why is the camera for this? I don't want the camera angle like that. Why are you doing that?
What an opportunity! A magnificent save. He passes it back. Good foresight. That could have decided it. 1 minute played so far. He's holding on for an opening.
Well, see, that's the issue with the analog stick handling the C buttons, is that like where I'm trying to press up to like run forward, it's tracking that we thinks that I'm pressing left, which is why it ends up doing a lob. So we'll try with the N64 controller I have for the next game and see if that makes a difference. We have a through ball. Oh, it's a 1-2. Okay.
He's got all the time in the world.
I don't know what down C does.
Keeping the passes flowing well. Left. They're closing him down. He places the through ball. This could be a chance. What can Croatia make from this move?
Croatia.
The pass to midfielder. The ball is passed on.
Yeah, I think that's a through ball. Down C does. Yeah. Okay.
Pass. He's gone in hard. 2 minutes played so far. Right. They're closing him down.
Where are my players?
He's going all the way.
For being a camera that's far away, it doesn't really give you that much more visibility of the pitch.
It's a hat-trick. Let's even the scores.
Is this the highest scoring game I've had yet in the series?
Warrants a second look.
I'm kind of surprised that they kept replays in. Because obviously the N64
He still
has a lot less memory than... Yep, there we go again. Then the PlayStation. And there's a really fascinating video you should watch on the Resident Evil 2 port for N64 to like really get an understanding of how that game in particular should not have had a fucking port to the N64, but somehow they pulled it off. Jesus. So like taking replays out would have been a completely fair omission from this game, but you know, it's a football game, probably isn't using that much of a 64 cartridge that they could fit it in.
3 minutes played so far. Returns it. Pass. Lovely pass. He's created a run here.
Oh, what a run!
He's on for an opening. He's running well. What a
Oh!
He's hit it with his right foot.
I have hit it with my right foot. You're very observant. We've even got a bit of crowd movement. I haven't just registered that. Like, you got a couple of, like... Can't see it. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see it. But I think there's, like, a couple of 3D models at the front of the audience and then, like, a 2-frame animation behind it. Which I don't think I've seen that before. That's pretty cool.
He's running well. He passes it back. The ball is passed on. Dispossessed.
I've got to say, for what I thought was going to be an absolute horror show of the emulation, it's held up really well. And I'm really happy with that, because I'm pretty happy with this game. It's got some issues in terms of there's a little bit of stiffness between when you collect the ball and when you start running, but it's definitely not as bad as some of the others we've done. Wait, what? Is that substitution? Do I have an injury? It's really interesting that like these older games like ISS actually show you the changes they're making. That's really curious.
Croatia, they're preparing to play a sub.
How about that?
He passes it back. The ball is
I was wondering, like, do we just hit full time and I didn't even realise it?
Running out. He places the through ball.
No, he doesn't.
Poland send a long ball downfield.
Oh, what a ball! What a ball! Fuck it again! Ah!
Pass. Forward and again. Tight play from Croatia. He's created a run here. Pass. He looks unsupported. Croatia have endless stamina. A valiant attempt, but thwarted. The seconds are ticking away for Croatia. The tackle looks good. He's going all the way.
Ah, fuck, you're getting around him. Oh, it's still on, still on, still on. Yes!
Goal! Oh, goal! Goal! It's a hat-trick. He finished that beautifully. Poland add to their tally.
This commentator's just like, clearly done a line before the game. It's great.
And the game restarts.
That was the one thing Barry Davis was missing from Axyz Soccer.
He's cutting towards the goal. He still has possession. What can Poland make from this move? He has players waiting for the cross. Will he take a shot? Dispossessed. We're into stoppage time.
Ah, shit, where's my players? Ah, come on! No!
A decisive kick there.
Oh, no!
It's gone out.
Oh, Jesus, that would have been a palaver.
Opportunity for Croatia. It's heading for the goalie. There's a fight for aerial domination. That's good foresight. There's no way through that defense.
This commentator's insane. Oh, no! No, I did not... We'll see. My fingers are crossed. Actually, no, the N64 controller should work because I did play
He's holding on for an opening.
DK64.
He's had a grip. Nice save.
Pretty sure I played that.
He's hit it with his right foot. A vital goal for Croatia.
Through the RetroArch emulator, so it should work out of the box. But even with this, you know, mild annoyance, this is a good game.
Game restarts. He's running well.
One of my preferred ISS games that I've played
A wasted attempt to Croatia.
out of all of them that we've played so far.
He's looking for the break. He's got control of the ball. He's had a crack. He's hit it at the keeper.
I am not conceding in the last minute.
Knocking him down.
I refuse.
He's got right behind that. This could be
Oh!
dangerous. He's hit it hard. Incredible play. Croatia have come from behind.
Don't believe it. I do not believe it.
The attack warrants a second look.
We're going to extra time.
And the game
Man, imagine you got a game like this in the Euros, the World Cup. That was not quite the through ball I was aiming for. Oh no, they've opened me up.
You're going to switch it across.
Ooh.
And the second half is over.
Can't believe it. Cannot believe it.
We're now into time added on.
I don't recognize any. I like there's a billboard, like a banner that just says soccer on it. You gotta fill the space with something, I guess. Yeah. These players can run for another 30 minutes or so, they'll be fine.
We're into extra time. Croatia are playing from right to left. Poland are playing from left to right. He's running well. He looks unsupported. Poland have endless stamina. What an opportunity.
Oh, good tackle.
Ball is passed on.
Tackling or defending is the thing I'm having the most trouble with. Partially because, like, I guess I could be using the radar down the bottom to, like, check where my players actually are.
It's gone out of play. Throw into Poland.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a large part of the reason why I've conceded 5 goals.
He's going to make the run. What an opportunity. He clears that well. Man on. He's looking around for openings. Will he cross it?
Ah.
It's gone out of play. Throw into Poland. Here's a chance for the long throw.
And like, it's mad that it puts the camera angle there.
He's looking around.
Like, how is that of any benefit to me?
Switch it across. The sliding tackle. He's going all the way.
You know, it's got a cinematic quality to it, don't get me wrong. But as a video game,
Intercept the ball. Croatia
doesn't help.
thwarted again. Yes, wonderful cover. He places the through ball. Croatia are starting to tire. He's going to make the run. Yes, dispossessed. He passes it back. Can someone meet the long ball? Yes, a great feed ball. Will he go it alone? He goes in hard. A cracking
oh, he took that right to the face. Oh shit, that was great.
Nothing to split these two teams.
Oh man, I'm oh, what a through ball.
He places the through ball. The goal is-
Ooh.
Nothing to split these two teams.
Also, the actual like sound of the ball getting kicked, whatever SFX they're using here
Will he cross it?
is
Left.
more realistic than the ones they've been using, like the thud of a wet box that they've been using for
Yes, dispossessed.
the PSX entries.
He's looking around for openings. A magnificent save. Superb skill from the goalkeeper. Nothing
Oh,
to
come on.
split these two teams. He's looking for the break. He's going all the way. What an opportunity.
One touch too many. One touch too many.
A decisive kick there. Consummate skill there. Defender, midfielder. The battle for control rages on. They're closing him down. A valiant attempt, but thwarted. He's cutting towards the goal. He's taking it all the way. A cracking shot. A fantastic reflex.
It doesn't feel like you've got much control over, like, I don't think it really does bends or curves or anything too much. Like, I've tried to put a bit of spin in it. It hasn't really done too much. It's a bit stiff from that aspect. Can I fast forward this? I don't think I can.
Fresh blood is coming in.
Maybe I should make a change. Ah, you have to submit and then the next time goes out of play. Ah, okay. Oh wait, no, it's handling now. Right. Substitute. So, does the red mean that they're bollocksed? I don't know. No, it doesn't. What does that mean? Does it mean they're a forward? Is that what it means? I think that's what it means. I can't tell what refers to their endurance, so we're just gonna... yeah, okay, so that definitely refers to that. Oh, down C. What? Whatever, we're done. Okay. Not the most exhilarating bit of footage there, I'll be honest. But at least we're giving some players a fucking rest. Whether they're actually in the correct positions, like, in their respective areas, is another question, but we won't worry about that.
3 minutes played so far. How much time has been added on?
I've also just realised how, like, low resolution that Croatian flag is. obviously not the biggest priorities, but I remember the Super Mario, the All-Stars 3D pack, and I remember watching the Digital Foundry video about the Mario 64 entry, and like the resolution, oh, fuck you, the resolution of the UI was like exactly the same. So they'd up-resed the graphics, but the HUD was still like at, you know, whatever resolution like from the original game, and they clashed that much more. And it was just one of those things that I would have never have thought about. And like, I don't watch like loads and loads of Digital Foundry, certainly not for like newer games, because like, cool, you run on Unreal 5, I don't care. But with things like that, with ports and remasters and remakes and that kind of thing, that's like where it's really interesting to see like what concessions and changes are made. Because like remastering or porting like games from the PS1 and the N64, I think it's really interesting about like the choices are made and what gets done. And I'm talking about like remastering, not a remake. Like Silent Hill 2 is a remake. But like actual just remasters. Ah no! Oh, what a tackle! What a tackle! Nah, that was never happening.
He's keeping him in check. A number of opportunities are available. He passes it back. Pass. Is he going to switch it?
I think my player's tired.
Endless stamina. He wrong puts his marker. A valiant attempt, but thwarted. Smooth passing on display. The sliding
Oh, I saw the run. I saw the run.
Played so far, right? And again. He's cutting towards the goal. He's taking it all the way. What an opportunity. It's gone out of play. That's out for a goal kick.
Motherfucker.
Nothing to split these two teams. A number of opportunities.
Can't believe we went 10 goals and now neither of us can score. Oh, hubris? Nope.
And again. Can someone meet the long ball? It's gone out of play. Throw into Croatia.
See, insanity, etc., etc. Like, if I was smart, I would try and change the controller now. But there's half a chance that it would fuck up the emulator, so, like, you know, we're committed now. Don't need it. Don't need it. My 8-bit Do Pro 2 controller will see me through to the bitter fucking end. Majora. Majora gets a bye. It's... This is not the video to be talking about Majora's Mask. But isn't it fascinating where we live in a world where fucking every IP and franchise, like, has its... Every single part of it, like its lore and its characters, are extrapolated to the bitter fucking end. No. Fuck me. That was schoolyard stuff there. And isn't it interesting that Nintendo have like done absolutely like next to nothing with Majora's Mask? Other than, you know, the 3DS remake. It's just one of those things that they just haven't done really anything with. And I'm happy about that because I think it adds to the mystique and the intrigue. And that's one of my favourite things about that game, is that it just doesn't tell you a lot about its world. It just throws you into Termina. And like, you know, that's pretty much it. And I find it so fascinating that Nintendo have never felt compelled to make a Majora's Mask sequel, or anything, or just do anything with that character or that world, I guess, even so. And I'm really happy about that because I think it would be impossible to like. Any more like extra detail you give to that world takes away from what the original is. Not that it ruins the original, but part of what makes that original game so compelling is that it doesn't tell you that much. And like, you know, what the hell would a sequel or maybe a prequel, like,
He looks unsupported. He's taking it all the way. What an opportunity.
there's probably some really interesting stuff you could do, but I just don't know. I just don't know.
It's gone out of play. It's a goal kick to Croatia.
But it is just interesting that, like, it's just, yeah, it's a world, it's a character they've never gone back to.
A number of opportunities.
And it is one of my bigger frustrations with, like, Zelda as a series, is like, oh, Ganon's back again. What a novel concept. You know, oh, your demise. Oh, well, no, you're just, like, the origins of Ganon. Alright, whatever. You know?
There it is. Full time has been blown.
It's why I like stuff like the Minish Cap, you know? Like, it gives you a different antagonist. And Majora's Mask. And, you know, for fucking half of Twilight Princess, you have this impression that, like, Zant is the final antagonist, and then they fucked up. Anyway, Zelda rant aside, International Superstar Soccer 64, pretty decent. Shocking revelation, I know, but this is a pretty decent game. And it's got a bop as well. I do not want to play that again, though. So we've got scenarios, we've got International World League, so all of your kind of your stuff there and penalty kicks. Cool. Yeah. Good game. Good game. But that does lead the question. Oh, I needed to go to my football ranking page first. All right. Where do we put International Superstar Soccer 64 to give it its full title? Oh, what an interesting scenario we have, because I think I prefer this to International Superstar Soccer Pro. I think I like the way that this feels just a little bit more, which I was not expecting coming in. I was thinking that this was going to be like basically the inferior version of ISS Pro, but I think I like the way this moves just a little bit more. And realistically, I think I've said this before, that the problem with Strikers, Super Mario Strikers, is that it just doesn't have, like, depth. It's fun as a an arcade, you know, street soccer style football game, but it doesn't really have a lot of depth. And honestly, maybe I put Strikers a bit too high, but I've made my decision now, so, you know, no take backsies. And I would probably play this above Libero Grande. As cool as the concept of a game that is, it, you know, it's also quite frustrating in some ways as well. So I think, oh, how high up do we go here? I think I am willing to, yeah, I think we're doing it. Oh. Look at that. No regrets. Yeah, no. I think I would rather play this because, again, 2010 FIFA World Cup South Africa is just a very functional FIFA game, and it's like really the only, like, I guess maybe FIFA 07 for the Game Boy Advance, but even then, that's stretching it. That's really like the only one that I've played yet. And I probably put that far too high, but I think it was more just the shock of, like, it playing really, really well. But, like, you know, PSP is still a pretty capable system. But again, no take backsies here on the Lithium Project channel. But that top three is going to take a while to get past, because, like, Sega Soccer Slam is like the perfect encapsulation of wacky street soccer style football. Virtual Soccer Striker is like a perfect arcade coin-op soccer game, and then, you know, PES 6 is basically a perfect football game. But ISS 64, yeah, I think that's a good spot to put you. So there we go. That is ISS 64, which leaves us with 98 and 2000 to come, and I'll be very curious to see how they handle and We will try on the USB-C ported N64 controller and see what happens with that. But until then, till another installment of the beautiful gamepad, thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and as usual, tell me like what other football games I should play, your experiences with i64 in the comments. Please let me know. But until then, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.